And in order to go around that objective, the first thing about any measurement is about counting. And we have already studied that in ancient India, some of the most important aspects of counting came. Can you recall what were the most important concepts of counting that we have found from ancient India?
Positional decimal system.
Yes, the positional number system. So the positional
binomial
number
theorem.
system. And what did it come out of?
Zero.
Are you aware of large numbers that we have heard in ancient India? What is the largest
Yes, sir.
number have you heard of in Indian counting? What is the
40.
largest and the smallest number?
So 10 power 21.
Huh?
10
What
power
is it
21
called?
per koti.
Huh?
Koti.
Per
Koti. Koti. Is this the largest? Smallest? There are
Sir,
much
yesterday
larger
we
than
got for
smallest.
10 power 400.
Smallest? Okay. So, other than counting, the other measures are the simplest measure is the measure of length. Then comes 2 dimension. Then comes 3 dimensions. Then comes weights. Then is time. What are the other units which we want to measure?
Temperature.
Huh?
Temperature.
Loudly, please.
Temperature.
Temperature. Then
The current.
current. Something that comes out of nature.
Sir, speed.
Speed is not the base unit, no?
light intensity.
Huh?
Light intensity.
Intensity. Any intensity. Is intensity a base measure?
Yes, sir. Candela is its unit.
What is intensity?
Luminous flux.
Yeah, flux.
Sir,
but
luminous
what are its
intensity is
units?
base measure.
Candela.
What are its units?
Candela.
Yeah, but is it per unit area or is it just fixed quantity like temperature?
Energy per unit area.
Then energy per unit area. So it is not a base measure. So, we would just like to quickly explore some of the methods and try to figure out, what are the units that we have heard of. So let's come to and we want to do it in a little more scientific manner. How can we use modern science and technology to really figure out what these were? So tell me what are the measures for counting? In villages, how is counting done? Do they use positional number system? You ask an illiterate person, how do they do counting? How does any very base civilizational people do counting? So we have discussed that we in ancient India we had zero, we had the relationship between zero and infinity, we had the positional number system. We also discussed, you remember, once why we do base 10?
Yes, sir.
That is because?
Yes.
Number of fingers.
Yeah, because we have 10 fingers. So tell me some of the linear measures that you know of from India.
Dhanus,
Yes.
angulas.
Huh?
Dhanus and angulas.
I couldn't hear you. Can you tell me again?
Dhanus and angulas.
Angulas. And what else? I heard angulas.
Yeah.
And what else?
Sir, Dhanus.
Dhanus. Okay. So, how many of you have played marbles? In childhood, you all did not play goli danda, goli, marbles. Did you all play or not?
Yes, sir.
So tell me some of the local measures of linear dimensions that you know. Small, large, big.
Jana, Bette.
Huh? I cannot hear.
Jana.
What is the spelling?
Jana.
What is that? JNA is what?
It's if we stretch our fingers, then the distance between our thumb tip to the little finger tip.
Right. So this distance. This distance. This is the jana, as you're saying, right? Is this what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
So in North India, what is this called?
Heart.
Yes.
Git.
So somebody
It
said
is known as
heart,
Git.
but somebody said
Git.
something else.
Git.
Huh?
It is known as Git in
Bitta.
Punjab.
Vitta. Remember Vitta? Vitta is actually a colloquial form of what name you know? The actual name is called Vitasta. And Vitta is the colloquial name. Those who have played marbles and others, you know how we used to measure? We used to measure from the thumb tip to the small finger tip, end to end, isn't it? What are the longer measures? A little more longer than that?
Sir, foot.
Huh?
Sir,
Once more?
length of our arm.
Huh? Length of our arm is called how much? What is it called?
It's Mora in Telugu, sir.
It's called hath. Length of your arm from the elbow to the fingers is called hath. And what is measured by hath in India typically? It's called,
Saris.
yes, 10 hath or 12 hath saris, isn't it? You remember it's called 10
Yes,
hath
sir.
sari or 12 hath sari? Or even dhotis are also measured that way. Good. Then what else?
So the span of our one step that we take while walking.
Hmm. What is it called?
So
Kach.
It's called pada.
okay. So it is used to measure the distance between two places.
Right, pada. And then longer distances?
Course.
Cross. Correct, cross. Then even longer?
Yojan.
Yojan. Who was famous for jumping 100 yojans, 1000 yojans?
Hanuman.
Where do we
Hanuman.
hear about this jumping 1000 yojans?
Ramayana.
Yes, in Ramayana we
Nal
hear.
and Neer.
Okay, so let's come to area.
Dismill.
Huh?
Sir, dismill.
Decimal, that is in modern. Decimal, which is called, is
I
actually
don't
a
know. Like
decimal.
it is called here. I don't know.
Katha. Katha.
Bigha.
Bhiga.
Bigha. Then
Ekad.
Nala. Acre is a British. Nal. In the linear dimensions, how do you measure width? Do you know? Have you talked to all these masons? How do they measure width? Fine width? Any guesses? How do they measure width? I have written part of it. Have you never heard of a measurement called sooth? Ek sooth, do sooth, teen sooth.
Yes, sir.
In those iron bars used in construction, thickness of bars.
Sooth. Sooth is a thickness. Sooth comes from thread. Ek sooth, do sooth, teen sooth. It comes from thread. Sooth. These are all very local names. Volume. Tell me about volume. Do we know about volume?
The
Have you heard of?
shale.
Huh?
The shale.
Shale is volume or weight?
So I'm not sure. It's like they used to call 2, 3
Shale is
shares
weight.
of milk.
Huh? Shale is volume or weight?
Share weight.
Shale is weight.
Volume, sir. Volume, sir.
No, shale is weight. Sometimes because of the density, the equivalent volume is called torque, but it's all about weight. What is volume? Do we have a direct measure of volume?
Tola, I guess.
Tola is weight.
Tola weight.
Where is tola measured? What is used in
Gold.
Jewelry.
Gold measure.
Gold.
Measurement.
gold? Correct.
Sometimes for measurement of oils, I guess that tola is used.
Yeah, but it's all related to weight.
Okay, okay.
But volume, try to tell me about volume. Tell me more about weight.
Paseri.
Huh? Paseri. More.
Pow. 1 pow.
Wow, mon. 8 mon. 1 mon. How much is 1 mon approximately?
40
So
kgs.
40 kg.
Yeah, it is about 40 kgs.
Sir, one more a smaller unit is also used in jewelry, Ratti, known as Ratti.
Ratti is the smallest unit. There is Ratti, there is Tola, there is Bhari. Come to time.
Pahar. एक प्रहर.
Nimesh.
Prahar. Prahar is approximately how many? What? How much is Prahar approximately?
3 hours.
3 hours.
How many Prahars in a day?
8.
8.
So approximately a Prahar is
3 hours.
3 hours.
Nimesh. What is a Nimesh? How much is a Nimesh?
16 by 75 of a second.
How do you get it? 16 by 75 of a second, but how is it derived?
Blink of eye.
Blink of eye is called what? The unit of time for blink of eye is called what?
Pal.
Pal.
Yes, pal or palak. It's called pal or palak.
Nimesh, I think
And-
that from the speed of light, it is has been.
No. Nimesh is not from the speed of light, but Nimesh comes from palak. Large dimensions of time.
Words.
Huh?
Mass.
Years.
Mass. Varsha.
Varsh,
Yuga.
Yug.
Mass, Yuga.
Paksh.
Paksh. What is a paksh?
15 days around. One.
Approximately 15
Moon
days.
cycle.
Moon cycle.
Fortnight.
Yeah, fortnight. Correct. Temperature.
Sheet.
Sheath is no temperature. It's just a feeling of cold. Do we have a unit of temperature? Unfortunately, it's worth researching. We have still not found a proper unit of temperature, nor have we found a proper unit of volume, because volume used to be related to weight. Now suppose, let's move ahead. So these were the linear measures: angulas, sangula, pradesa, vitasthi. This is the vitta. Then there is the pada, prakarma, vyamana. This is a very famous value, which is called the purusha. There is a very interesting book called Mensuration in Ancient India by Professor Sarda Srinivasan. You should see Professor Sarda Srinivasan's work, which is very, very interesting. So, in the Sulma Sutras, the origin of angula came from grain. That means they would place grains side by side to each other, either millet grain or barley grain, or whenever they standardized angula, which we think is a measure of the width of a finger, but it came from more finer grains, which was barley or millet. And then you had units. So when we came to the Vedic civilization, in the Sulba Sutras as well as in Arthashastra, you have these definitions of units, of which one of the unit, the Dhanus unit, was very, very interesting, because this Dhanus unit virtually links us with the Indus Valley civilization and the Vedic civilization. They almost had the same Angula and Dhanus. These two were very frequently found as a common in both of these civilizations, which are typically known to be unconnected. So the value of the Angula was about 8 barley grains widthwise. That means you place them like this. And you placed 8 of them, and you will get this. Or the maximum width of the middle part of the middle finger of a middling man in Arthashastra. But the Angula has originated from the Indus Valley civilization and come throughout, possibly because it is related to the human body. Professor Michel Danino did a very interesting work. It's straightforward, but still, what he did was, he looked at all the dimensions of Dholavira in the Indus Valley civilization. And based on these dimensions, he put up a set of equations. And from this set of equations, what would you have, if you set up these equations, what are you looking for? These equations and ratios. So he found the equations and found the ratios. And from these equations and ratios, what should we try to find if you were given a problem like this? You are given the dimensions in your current system, and given the dimensions in your current system, which is the modern system of centimeters and millimeters, and you are trying to find out what were the base units of an older civilization which you don't know, but whose dimensions you have found like this, what would you do? Anybody's guess, what would you do?
All dimensions should be the
A little
common
louder,
multiples
please.
of those basic units.
Yes, you
all the
would try
dimensions
to
would be
find out a basic unit U, which is whose multiples can derive all other units and also satisfy the ratios. Got it, everybody? So we are
No,
going
sir.
to
Can you
look
explain
for.
it again?
Yes, please.
I didn't get, sir. Can you explain it again?
Let me ask you that you have got these dimensions given to you, and this is the basic data which I have given to you. Now I want you to find out what is that unit which was used in that civilization. How will you find out? How will you find out?
We have to multiply that numbers with another number so that we can get the main measure.
Yeah, so that's what I said. You will try to find a minimum common value u such that n into u, some ni into u will give you each of these values. And it will be such that these ratios, they will be integral multiples, and these ratios will also come from those ni and j values. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All you have to do is solve a constraint satisfaction problem. So you will try to find an unknown value u, who is the minimum smallest satisfying dimension. And based on that, you will try to find all other values. So what Michel Tanino did was that he chose these values, and based on these, he found a common value. And that was the common value that he obtained. U in Dholavira was 1.9 meters. When he looked at all the city dimensions, the common value U came to 1.90 meters. And this 1.90 meters, which was the common value in Arthashastra, it is called the Dhanus. This value, 1 Dhanus. This is approximately 1.90 meters, which was used to measure city walls, roads, thicknesses and all that. And we also know that this 1.90 meters is approximately also called a 1 danda. So this was the base unit for Dholavira, and very interestingly, this is also a unit which has got some linkages with in the later Vedic civilization. For smaller dimensions, for smaller units, they have been able to find measuring scales. For example, this is an ivory measuring scale found in Harappa, in Lothal, where there are 27 graduation lines spanning 146 millimeter, and one unit is about 1.77 millimeter. And if you take 10 such units, you get something very close to an angula. So they broke the angula to approximately 10 divisions. So they also had, in some form, a base 10 calculation, which was also a very interesting thing. There is another one in Kalibangan. You again get a base measure of 1.75 from its units, and there again you will from these groups you will get a base unit measure, which is again like an angula. And the interesting thing is that 108 angula make a dhanus. This, which is given in the Arthashastra, seems to have some linkage with what we get in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. So Lothal and other places, Dholavira, some linkage because measurements seem to have had some linkage. What that is needs to be further found. So the Harappan angula finds confirmation in a few of the larger Indus seals, and it will, if confirmed, then it will provide at least some Harappan legacy to the Gangetic civilization. That is, from the Indus Valley civilization to the Gangetic civilization, where the connections are very, very peculiar. we will be able to get some connection. So this is a very interesting work, and this is how you really try to discover the dimensions, the measurements based by solving some types of constraint satisfaction equations. Any questions? Anybody has any questions? Okay, then we can move on. So now let us come to area measurements. So area was mainly used for land measurements in terms of the sizes of the rectangles and the squares. So among the area measurements, they were used by defining them to be rectangles or squares and giving their dimensions in linear measures. But we also had some actual measures, and we have discussed 3 of them, which are still found when you do land measurements today. One is the Nivartanas, one is the Bighas, which is typical in this region, and the Nalas, which are typical in the North Indian region. On the other hand, other than pure area measurements, there were some indirect measurements which are also very peculiar in terms of measuring the land of a person. And there they mixed up the quality and the quantity and the time. So one of them was called the Hala. What is the Hala? Anybody can guess?
Instrument
The plow.
behind
Yes. How much you can plow in 1 unit of time, say prahar. So how much you can plow in 1 unit of time, though it did not give the exact area, it somehow combined quality with indirect measure. The other indirect measure was how much seed can be sown. Now, so this also linked up with the fertility of the land.
Sir, her, I think, is also one of
Yes.
agricultural.
Once more, please.
But her is also an agricultural instrument.
Can you see the slide screen?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Something happened
No.
and everybody lost the screen. Let me leave and rejoin.
Okay, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can you see the screen now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Something is wrong. The network is getting cut. Let me try to upload again. Now it has come?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
it
Yes.
has.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was somebody saying about Hala?
Sir, it is also an agricultural instrument that is used for plowing land.
Yeah. That's what I said, for agricultural land only. Now the quantity of seed sown was also a way in which you measured the fertility of the soil. The other measure of land was in terms of the yield the land gave. So there were various kinds of measures which tried to figure out measures both directly and indirectly. Volumes. So here are, can you see the slide on volumes? Has that slide come?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Wait, let us wait a minute. I think there is some problem. Now it will come.
Yes, sir. It has come.
Everybody? Good. So now most of you have forgotten, but volume was informally measured in various ways. Ek mutti chawal, you remember? So
Yes, sir.
mutti. Then Anjali is,
Yes.
You place both your hands together, and when you pray, you give Anjali to God. So how much you can put in both the two palms put together? Then you had volumes in terms of standardized measurements. These are informed as volume measurers, ghada. Have you not seen in many of your homes such types of fixed volume dabbas are there? Did you ever go to the market to buy things where they gave it to you in volumes of a particular basket? Then sometimes
Sir.
the spoons or the ladles would be of a fixed, well-defined volume. But volume did not have its base unit. It was always indirectly measured by some human units or some standard units that were used. For example, this payali. Has anybody heard of this payali?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
when I was a child, we used to take water in a jug like this. And it used to be called one payali. And it used to be just, that jug used to be called a payali. We also found out that indirect measures of volume equivalent were found. In terms of weights, we have discussed Ser, Mond or Man, and for small weights, Tolas, Bharis, and somebody also said Rattis. When we see, can you see the next picture?
Yes, sir.
So typically, whenever you see pictures of ancient people, each of these are actually part of a standardized size, because they are all indirect measurements of certain volumes. So even if you see the baskets, what are these baskets called in your locality?
Okri.
Once more.
Tokri.
Tokri. And in Bengal it is called?
Chupri.
You haven't heard of this word? Jhuri?
Yes, sir.
And did you observe that you don't get it of arbitrary dimensions? There are only a few fixed dimensions. Have you made that observation? You know, it is worthwhile going to a village market and looking at all the baskets and procuring one basket of each type, and then looking at the ratios amongst themselves exactly the way the ratios were found by in Dholavira. And if you do that, you will really get the equivalent. You will get the base. Similarly, there were weights. From the Indus Valley civilization onwards, weights were used to measure. And these weights had both arithmetic progression as well as geometric progression. And these are the typical values of weights which are used to measure gold, standard gold measures. Now you have our normal units of measurement, but earlier, if you had to go to an old village gold shop, you would see such things there for measuring. Anybody visited such shops before? Next, we come to time and trigonometry. So, trigonometry and astronomy and time, so they had this concept of degrees because astronomy was there, and this concept of a 360 degree. Why is it 360? Why is it not 100 degrees? Why do we measure a circle as 360 degrees? Does anybody know? Why do we measure it as 360 degrees?
So, 90 angle from.
I can't hear you.
Sir, a 90-degree angle like it can be divided into 4 90-degree angles.
Where do you get this? Where does this magic number 360 come from?
So it is close to number of days in a year.
Yes. All of us know one day, and we know that we revolve around the sun. So in 1 year, the amount of revolution around the sun is approximated. 365 is not a good number to divide. So that is how the approximation 360 comes. Because that is the circle, an approximate circle. So that is how 360 comes. You have to think, a little bit of thinking will tell you. Similarly, the human body and small units of time, nimesha, kshana, etc. And other units of time came from atomic relationships, Anu being the smallest unit of time. So, you know, if you look at this book of mensuration in ancient India by Professor Sarada Srinivasan, then you will see all these measurements. Paramanu, 2 paramanu equal to 1 anu, which is approximately 0.000056 seconds. then there is a Trasarenu, then there is Truti, then Veda, Lava, Nimesha is 3 lava, which is about half a second. And then there is Kala, Muhurta. How much is the Muhurta? So 30 Muhurta makes a day. You know, you always hear of this is a good Muhurtam and things like that. So 30 Muhurtams make a day. So these are all the values. Today, from where do we get the ultimate base value? Where is our ultimate base value?
Sir, why didn't we take the value of 365 days?
Huh?
Why didn't we take the value of 365 as a circle?
Why did we take the value of 365?
Yes.
You couldn't understand. Can anybody else explain to him why 365 came?
Sir, he's asking why did we take the number of days in the year only? Why not something else?
What is the, what is the first? 360 is a circle, isn't it?
Yes or no? Yes, sir.
360 degrees is the measure of the circle, isn't it?
Yes.
Total number of angles in a circle is 360 degrees, isn't it? The sun,
yes,
the earth revolves around the sun, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure. Are you not able to understand such a basic stuff? So the revolution of the earth around the sun is approximated to be a circle. And the number of days, it is approximated that 1 day is 1 degree. So this is how people approximated 365 days. And that is how this angle came. Every day you can find out where the sun is rising. And based on that, you can try and make an estimate of that whole circle. So that is how it came. Have I been able to answer your question?
Sir, why a circle was supposed to have 360 degrees? Why not 365?
Because mathematically, if you take a 365 degrees, then converting it to numbers, it is not easily dividable. So they converted it to 360 because 360 has got many factors. Now you can break it up into a quarter, which is 90. If you have 365, a quarter of 365, its mathematics would be how much? 91 point something.
Sir, but we can divide it by 5.
No, you can divide it by 5, but a quarter of a circle, people talk about 1/4 of a circle, 1/5 of a circle, 1/12 of a circle, 1/8 of a circle. If you take 365, none of them will come as whole number integers.
Sir, but why only 1/4 we say? Why not 1/5?
No, 1/5 of 360 is how much?
1/5 of 365, sir.
Young man, everybody has to calculate various fractions. Is 1/5 the only fraction in this whole world that you will require? When you take a circle, people will want to know 1/4 of a circle, 1/5 of a circle, 1/6 of a circle, isn't it? For various fractions, we would like to have some whole numbers. If you took 365, then imagine if somebody told you what is 1/6 of a day. How many degrees is 1/6 of a circle? Would you be able to find it easily? Has everybody else understood? Or you still have doubts? Then why we took 360, not 365?
Got it, sir.
Understood.
Yes, sir.
Got it, sir.
Yeah, it's quite obvious that in order to create a mathematics around it, you do it that way. So there are other measures, measures of temperature, measures of heat, measures of illumination, daylight, and various dimensional quantities. What is the first dimensional quantity that ancient India found out very easily? Dimensionless quantity, sorry, pi, yes, pi. And all of these have evolution with mathematics, these numbers. As mathematics progressed and our understanding progressed, the numbering system, the measurement system all evolved as we progressed. And the interesting thing is that it is the civilizational connect that you can get by studying these numbers. I'm telling you, go to a village market, look at all these tokeries and try to find out the relationship between the tokeries. You will get something very interesting. So this was the first introduction. It's really important to figure out whether we had a measure of temperature or not. But I believe that the first measures of temperature came in 14th, 15th century in this world. Similarly, a measure of heat, a measure of illumination, color. Are you aware of the first ways in which we got the various colors? How did the colors evolve? Measurement of color.
Rainbow, sir.
Rainbow.
So the rainbow is obviously the first measurement of color. That is why the 7 colors of light came in every civilization.
Satarang.
It came from the rainbow. All civilizations talked about 7 colors because it came from the rainbow. And then they started getting more colors by what? How did you get more colors from these 7 colors?
Mixing in different
Yeah, by
proportions.
mixing colors. So we'll stop here because you will have a class after this, I guess. So I will share these slides with you all. I will give it to the teacher. And I would request you to, go through these, look at temple structures, look at the dimensions. What was the dimension of an impact? So try to figure out what were the newer dimensions. Have we lost some of the measures that were there earlier, which are useful even today, etc. Any questions? Anybody has any questions?
No, sir.
Hello,
Okay,
sir.
then, if there are no further questions.
Sir, I had a question.
Yes.
Sir, you said that 365 days concept. So I was just asking whether the heliocentric theory was accepted during the Vedic period.
These 365 days, whether it was there in the Vedic period is not known, but the heliocentric concept, whether the earth moves around the sun or the sun moves around the earth 360 degrees is formed. Have you understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, I get it.
It is just a relative measure. It's just 360 degrees is formed. Whether the earth moves around the sun or the sun moves around the earth does not matter. A circle is formed.
Sir, when like that there are 365 days.
I can't hear you.
Sir, my someone has muted me.
I can't hear you. Anyway, I think we have to stop
Someone
this
has
class
muted
because
me.
people will leave. Yes, tell me. Those who have to have another class can leave. Yes, tell me.
Sir, the concept of leap year is also there, right? So,
The concept of
leap year. Because
concept of
leap year, sir. 366
leap
days.
year.
Yes.
The concept of leap year, you know, the concept of leap year was found out during Aryabhatta's time and all that. They are fairly advanced astronomers.
Sir, and who first invented like that there are 365 days?
I
Like,
can't hear you, you know.
sir, who found out that that there are 365 days in a year? Like, did someone like counted it, or like what?
How will you find out? You tell me. You are a student of IIT Kharagpur. How will you find out that there are 365 days in a year?
Sir, I just want to know, sir, like what?
No.
How
I'm asking you as a modern day person. How will you are put up in another planet?
Sir, are you trying to shame me?
I am hearing you. I am asking you a question now. The question is that how would you determine that there are 365 days in a year?
Sir, how will you do it?
No, I am asking you. You are asking me or I am asking you? I am asking you a question. Please try to answer that question. This is not a debate where you are challenging whether I know it or not.
Sir, are you trying to shame me?
What is it?
Are you trying to shame me in front of others?
No. I'm not trying to shame you. I'm asking you. I'm asking you. It's a very simple question.
I will take a copy, put a tick every day, but how will I find out that the year has ended?
Yes, that is what I'm asking you. How would you find out? How would anybody find out?
How a year has completed, how I will how I will know it. When it was not known that there are 365 days in a year, then how did a person knew that the new year has started?
Yes. So let me ask you one question. Did you see in when we studied Indus Valley civilization, did you see those stones where they found out where the sun rises?
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember. But you should have studied because that was what was taught. And let me show you. There are very simple measures. That is what I'm trying to tell you. You are not. So, you know, every day you can see where the sun rises. Does the sun rise exactly in the same place every day?
No.
So in the horizon, the sun rising shifts in one direction. It reaches the end of that direction and then again comes back to another direction. And if you do this observation, this angle depends on where you are in the planet. If you are in a fixed place in the planet, then you will be able to see it moving like this and back like this. And that is why they had these ring stones in the Indus Valley civilization. They had all these stones, and I've talked about these ring stones when I gave the introductory class on the Indus Valley civilization. This is number one. Number two is that the rotation also comes from the astronomical position in the sky. But the simplest one is to find out where the sun rises. So the sun rising, that is why, have you heard of these days called the equinox and the solstice? There is the summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year. There is the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year. And there are 2 equinoxes where the day is equal to the night.
Yes.
It is from these calculations that anybody can find out. I thought that this was easily known from school. That is why I am asking.
No, sir, I forgot.
It is not difficult at all. Suppose
Sir,
you are put in another planet, you will find out what is the year of that planet.
Sir, but you should not refer to me as that you are a IIT student and you can't figure it out. Sir,
I didn't even take anybody's name. I have not taken anybody's name. I'm just asking. I don't even know who is asking.
Me only.
I don't even know who is asking. I didn't even take anybody's name. I don't know who is asking. I'm just answering to who is asking. So it's not even an intention to do that. I don't even know who is asking. I'm just answering to whosoever is asking. So how can I shame anybody?
Sir, you refer to me like that.
No, I didn't refer to anybody. I'm just referring to somebody who is asking.
Sir, you refer to me that you are an IIT student and you are not able to figure it out.
Everybody is an IIT student here. Is there anybody here who is not an IIT student?
Sir, at that time I was only.
I think I will not tolerate all this sort of nonsense. I have not named anybody, and everybody here is an IIT student. This is not a class where IIT students are there and somebody else is there. Under this circumstance, nobody gets identified. I have been teaching for 40 years. I am aware of all these things. Anyway, we have crossed our time. Thank you, everybody. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Pranam, sir.
Okay.
So you will share the slide and I will upload.
I will share the slides.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.